These irons right here are totally 3D printed. LIMIT3D. And they claim they could be the best irons that I have ever hit. But I've already spotted one big problem. Let's have a look inside this box. Honestly, I have never seen anything like this before, ever. I didn't think they could go any further. And we've just seen glimpses of 3D in 2024 with Bryson. So we are going to expect that we saw the price of Bryson's irons to be over $10,000. Are these going to be close to that? Well, let's go through these brand new irons from 2024, the Limit 3D irons from Cobra. Cobra Golf. Now, I bet you didn't know they're releasing something else this year, as we already had the release of the dark speed irons. Don't you just love a box like this? This is seriously cool. Okay, let's take a look inside. Look at this here. Now, what is really interesting is that 1 of 500. 1 of 500. And I've spotted a little bit of something on here, so let's take a read. My first impressions with this box is that I'm expecting like a black 3D printed iron. The case is just looking like it should be that way. Okay, let's go more into this. So here we go. Ooh, this is not what I was expecting. Not what I was expecting at all. Look at it. It's got like a lattice thing here. This is really interesting looking. Well, what's this little thing? Wonder if I can get it out. Oh, I think that's a cool little pitchfork repairer. Okay, we'll leave that in there. Let's get our first look at this. I'm dying to see it. Look at that. Now, Cobra's whole goal and aim with this iron was to produce, and their claims are that they have produced a blade-like profile in an iron that has the forgiveness of a game improvement oversized head, but also, sounds like they're promising a lot here, with the feel of a forged iron. Now, straight away, this is something I've never seen before. It certainly looks like sort of a blade profile, more lower handicap. I'm interested to see how far this goes, how it performs, and what yardages and carry I get. Plus, with them being super bold claims, do they live up to expectation? Have a look at this lattice here. This is really, really interesting. You know what? I'll also say this. I think Cobra are going to seriously scare some of the other brands, your likes of your Callaways, your TaylorMades, your PXGs, as they're the sort of first to the market in the mass market space for 3D printed irons. I think a lot of them are going to go, ooh, I didn't see this coming. Let's get back to hitting some shots. Now, the key scenarios we're going to test this iron in is from the fairway, from the rough, and off the tee. All the scenarios where we need, in this case, a 7 iron to be dialed in and perform. You know what? I have no idea how far this thing is going to go. Like, usually when I hit a game improvement iron, it just goes poof for miles. Like, it feels like it's dead fiery. I'm so interested to see what it plays like, what it sounds like from all these scenarios. But first, I just want to get that tape off it. I want to get the cellophane wrapper off. Now, first impressions, I really love this brush look. And I'll be honest, right, this is a really bizarre thing right here. I'm feeling it, and it's like a lattice. I can feel like the texture in it. It's like something you'd have in a coat, or I don't know, you might find on a building site to give like strength. I like the brush look, the name in the corner right here, the Cobra logo, and the look of the face. Tell you what, straight away, fair play. This looks very, very good. Very good, but it does have some huge claims. You know what? I have genuinely no idea what to expect from this iron. Usually when you look at an iron, you sort of preempt what it's going to sound like, what it's going to feel like, what it's going to go like, how it's going to play. I have no idea what to expect. So let's first test this from the par 3. And my first initial thoughts, and I placed that down behind the ball, but yeah, I can see it. It is like a player's iron sort of style. It's got a thin top edge and that brushed sort of outer to where those middle bit of where the grooves are looks really good down behind the ball. Like really good. But yes, I can see it. It has a small, compact profile. So far, everything that it's promised. But that's only looks. Remember that they're claiming that this iron performs like an oversized head. It's seriously forgiving, which is why we're going to put it to the test not once on every single scenario, but at least twice. Oh my, that has flown. That felt soft off the face. That has flown. Carry with a 7-iron on a windy day like this for the first shot, 167. And I'll be honest, I think I got that a little bit off the bottom. In fact, it wasn't at the bottom, it was slightly out the toe. Can you see that mark there? You can sort of see the ball mark sort of slightly toe side just here. This would be sort of slap bang in the middle, slightly toe side. Very good distance to be fair. And it didn't fly like it was a toe. It really stayed in the air, which I guess has to be a big positive thing. That has to be a big plus that I hit a toe shot and still at my 7-iron, 167 yards. Okay, let's see if we can get this one. You know what, the sound's not what I expected. The sound's softer, more muted. I don't know what to expect from a 3D printed style iron. Okay, let's hit a second one away here. Oh, I got that one much better. I've really got that one much better. That felt absolutely out the screws. 166, 167. Now, I had to do a little bit of research on exactly what these are made of. So, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I've never heard of it before. This is what they're made of. The 3D printed 316L stainless steel body, again, I've never heard of that steel before, has an innovative internal lattice structure, which allows 33% of the overall club head weight to be repositioned without sacrificing strength. So what do you actually want from a super forgiving, oversized head? And what makes them desirable to certain players? Well, you want high launch, so the ball stops quickly, and even on off-center hits, you want the ball to go the same distance. Well, look at these two shots here. The first one pitched here, this is the one that I got a little off the toe. The second one pitched just here. This is the one I got right out the screws. So my point being, even on the off-center hit, let's see if we can do this smoothly. We've got it. Pretty much the same distance. And I can say pretty much the same distance because there was 1 yard between them, 166, 167. And that's what most, I'm going to generalize here, ultra forgiving, oversized heads promise. Now we're getting that on those two shots off a tee with this iron, even though it doesn't look that way. And isn't it interesting, that lattice? And when I was hitting it, it really feels like the head should be soft. It does feel soft, it feels forged, but I don't know. One thing I would say, which I really do know low handicappers won't want, is a really light feeling head. You don't get that. So even though they're saving weight, you're not getting a light head. It just means they can put it in other places, which we will come to. So let's get in the rough. So I'm gonna go around that 166 yard mark now. So let's just get a little yardage and make sure that's right. Now come on, what are your opinions on these irons? I really think Cobra have done something that I didn't expect from them. Like, I honestly think this is a seriously good looking iron. Well, 174 yards is a little bit downwind, and I actually think that's pretty much okay. So I have two golf balls in my hand. Let's put them in some bad lies, because this is what irons need to perform like. If they're forgiving and we hit it in the hay, this is what needs to happen. We need to be able to launch out of lies like this and like this. So let's get this again so we can see some consistency. So remember, we had 167, 166. I'm really interested to see if this is dialed in close again. Tell you what, this is a juicy lie to say the least. Here we go. Oh, how high that launched. I just cut through the grass. Give me a number. Whew. That must have been, I was about to touch that, that must have been a bit of a jumper, because that one just carried 187. So I think that was a little bit to do with the lie. One other thing I'd like to comment on, even though it's going high, I don't feel it's going high like sort of looping. I feel like it's going a little bit like this. Now remember, I did say there was one huge problem that I'd already spotted. And at the minute, this sounds really, really positive in this review. Let's hit another one from here off the rough. Oh, how good's that? It feels so soft off the face, by the way. So soft off the face. You're not going to believe this. You are not going to believe this. That's seriously consistent. 166, 167, 187, 187. Wow, I am seriously impressed with those shots so far. The 4 shots that I've hit, it has felt really, really pure. It's felt like a really good high-end player's iron. Yeah, I'm getting control, I'm getting distance, I'm getting launch easily. This is the bumpiest part of the golf course. So where is all this forgiveness coming from in this iron? And I'll be honest, I find this really quite interesting. The 3D printing allows, remember I talked about this lattice that they've had, allows for up to 100 grams of tungsten weight to be placed in the heel and the toe areas of the club head, creating a lower CG, which essentially is going to help us launch the ball higher, and an exceptionally high moment of inertia, MOI, you'll have heard this being talked about, relative to the shape and the size of the club head. The result of this is a compact blade shape with a low CG location, high forgiveness, and comparable distance to that of a player's distance iron or game improvement iron model. Let me show you where these are finished. Now remember, this has gone a little long. Unexpected, out the rough, carbon copies of each other, really good shots though. We've got one final scenario to go through, and that's the fairway. But I'm really interested in this club. I'm really interested in it. It's a very, in the nicest possible way, and I've said this about the driver in 2024, un-Cobra-like product. Un-Cobra-like product. And that might sound strange because I know they've done 3D printed putters, but the minimalistic look, the technology, everything about this club. Right, this is where they finished. Okay, so we had the first one here, and the second one just here. Now, if I stand side on to these, you can see they've pretty much missed the green by the same amount. Now it's always at the rough, isn't it? But I think my point being is that they went the same distance. Yes, I didn't know how far they were going to go. I've hardly hit this iron before, but it felt easy. It really did. I'm finding it hard to find some more words about these irons. I'll come up with a few more, but let's head to the next. Now I've just spotted another really cool little feature. Look at that detail. 1 of 500 on the back side of the club there. That's seriously cool. So I'm guessing all the irons that you purchase will have this on. Now this next shot is going to be really, really tough. We've now switched directions and we're back into the wind. Hence why my hair looks the way it does. But we've seen the forgiveness on the toe hit on the first hole that we had. The ball went the same distance, both off the toe and out the middle, 167, 166. Yard difference, it's the same. Now we not only want that forgiveness, but also if this is an iron a low handicap player is going to want to use, and you're playing in the wind, something you don't tend to get in oversized heads is that ability to launch one lower when you need to. So i.e. control your ball flight, maneuver your ball flight. So this is going to be a real telling test on this shot. I don't know if it's got it in it. I don't know. Can you have both? I definitely think so far, the summary, we've got the forged feel. It looks like a player's iron. It looks bloody brilliant behind the ball, and the shelf appeal. It's definitely very nice to hit off the face. It feels soft and forged-like. There's just a couple more questions to answer. Can you maneuver your ball? First ball up. I'm going to put it back in the stance. I'm going to try and drive it forwards, see what launch and flight we get here. Tough shot, this. Look at that. Oh, look at this coming round. Really using that wind. Well, I bet that's got a great kick in close. This one finished a little short, but look at that shot right there. Now, we saw Bryson at the Masters game a set of 3D printed irons, and you know what? He performed pretty well. Now, I know he's no longer with Cobra, but is this the way golf's going to go right now? Are we going to see more of this style iron, this style club? Because if we think about this logically, is this the only other avenue that we can go down in terms of actually making irons better? Have we exhausted every other avenue in terms of like AI face, in terms of materials, in terms of size? Have we exhausted absolutely every other avenue? And is 3D printed the only other way that we can go? I think it could be, but surely right now, it's going to come at a huge price point. Maybe that's going to price a lot of people out of the market. A lot of people this iron is aimed at. I now feel I'm in a much better place to talk to you properly about the LIMIT3D irons. And I mentioned at the start of this video that there was one huge problem. Now, you saw, as I was unboxing this box, that this set is one of 500. Only 500 units. That's hardly anything. Now, all I'm thinking is this, and let's think about this logically. Everybody needs a more forgiving iron than we do buy, but we don't buy more forgiving because we don't like the look of it. Whereas this right here is offering you the looks, the forged feel, the compact feel down behind the ball, but with the forgiveness of an oversized head. I can confirm, I do feel that this is really forgiving. I had loads of confidence hitting numerous shots from the fairway, from the rough, off the tee, of numerous scenarios where an iron needs to perform, and the off-center and on-center hits went very similar distances, which is all we need, off-center hits to go just as far as our good ones. So if we're looking at this logically right here, if they made more of these, I reckon they would go. Now, there is one caveat to this. They do come at a big price point. For 4 pitching wedge, which I guess you could kind of class this as a second problem, but to be honest, I think the exclusivity drives up the price. I also think the fact that this is new technology, the likes we've only seen with irons that Bryson has used and in Cobra putters before, that again drives up the price. And maybe in the future they will come down. But for 4 pitching wedge, we're looking just short of £2,500. £2,499. That's £357 a club. And for a Cobra club, are people going to think that is far too expensive? Are people going to even be able to get their hands on them? This is something that I think is seriously cool. A seriously strong iron, I hold my hands up. There is one problem, but these are the best irons that I have tested in 2024. And they're going to take a lot of beating. A lot of beating. So thanks so much for watching this review of the Cobra LIMIT3D irons. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to subscribe, because we get our hands on all the latest technology here in the golf industry. Plus, whatever you want me to test next, whether it's new or old, just as long as you subscribe and you pop it down below in the comments, I'll be sure to shout your comment out and put it to the test. Thanks for watching.